Welcome to my first ever Practice With Me cello workout. The reason I have chosen to start this new series with this particular workout is because it encompasses all my absolutely non-negotiable, super fundamental exercises that I teach to any new cellist. That is not to say in any way, shape or form that workout will be way too easy for you if you are further down the process. Oh no, this workout will be fantastic for you whatever stage you are at, because without great basics we don't have an awful lot. This particular workout is one which to anyone who is in, I would say, roughly their first year of learning, I would suggest they should do really ideally at least 4 or 5 times a week. And this workout only lasts for roughly 20-21 minutes. And that is an amount of time I think anyone can find. So what are we going to cover today? We are going to cover everything from arm weight to building a great bow hold, to my basic sound production exercise, building a great left hand shape, learning to find first position, and finally practicing some basic scales. So without further ado, I think we should get ready to practice. A beautiful big resonant cello sound happens when we really allow ourselves to use the full dead weight of our right arm. So that's the first thing I want to get a feel for when I start this practice session. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift our right arm up, and I want you to imagine that when I say let go, somebody literally flicks a switch at the back of your shoulder and the energy goes out. Your arm just goes dead and you're going to catch it with your other arm. So let go. You can see here that the completely uncontrolled fall. I'm not forcing it down. We're not forcing. You really have to just let it go dead. And let go. And one more time. Let go. So you can see that my whole body here really gets moved by the impact. Yeah, one more time, and arm up and let go. So that's something you really want to start at the beginning of your practice session, and then you can try the same with the bow. So hold it really firmly with your left hand, and now try the same idea. Let go and fall into the stick. Good. And one more time. So just don't worry about damaging anything for as long as you're holding it. It's fine. So let go. There you go. So that's the feeling you want to establish right at the beginning, that you're not holding up any weight, just completely dead weight going into the bow. Good cello playing starts with a good bow hold. So we're going to spend a couple of minutes on my tried and tested bow hold exercise. That is a series of steps to give you a really nice relaxed bow hold from scratch. So first of all, we're going to familiarize ourselves with our 3 main contact points. One is the middle knuckle of your middle finger in your right hand. One is the top right corner of the thumb, not the fleshy bit, only the top right corner. And the third one is the point in the bow, this little dip that you can see here where the heel meets the stick. So the first thing we're going to do is shake out our hand until it's completely soft. Flip it over. The fingers are soft. The knees are pointing, no clenching. They're completely neutral. There's no energy in the fingers. So now I am placing my bow contact point into my middle finger crease that we identified earlier, like so. And now I'm going to find my other contact point, the top right corner of the thumb, move it right opposite, and here close the space, turn my arm around, catch the bow with the other hand to take the weight off, and you should have a really nice bow hold. So we're going to do that one more time like so, hand over. Make sure when you place a bow into your hand, your fingers should not react. They should not clench. They should not react in any way, shape or form. You just place it, the hand remains passive, completely soft, really like fingers like jellyfish here. Close the space, flip it over, catch it, and the fingers are still soft. Now maybe try and repeat that a couple more times. Every single practice session I do starts with a posture check. So that's the first thing we are going to do before we do any actual playing. And that's something I still need to remind myself of every single day. So we want to sit nice and upright. I sit quite close to the edge of my chair, but that depends a little bit on how tall you are. Make sure your feet are really firmly on the floor, either side, not out too far to the side or back, really right underneath your knees. So as you can see, I'm sitting nice and tall. One image that always helps me is to imagine that there is a little cord attached to my head that goes all the way up to the ceiling, yeah? So that my head is literally kind of suspended from the ceiling, and that makes me nice and tall in the process. So now I want to make sure that my shoulders are looking straight ahead. Now that is super important. You do not want to be sitting like that. So shoulders left, right, looking straight ahead. So now my cello, I always like to make sure that the tip of my end pin is not right in line with my nose, but a little bit further to the right at about 12:05. So like so, that I don't have the neck squeezed next to my head or get in conflict with the C peg here. I've got lots of space. Now I'm comfortable. The cello is turned ever so slightly inward, so I'm with my left knee here bringing the A string side up ever so slightly, and now I think I'm good to go to do some actual playing. Next, we're going to spend a few minutes on my absolutely non-negotiable daily sound production exercise. Also, sometimes I refer to it as a 4-part bowing exercise, and you will have seen me talk about this repeatedly. So we once again go through our bow pickup procedure, which we did a minute ago. So now we place it onto the string, and for that I always like to start on the middle strings, either on the D or on the G. And first of all, before I do anything else, I want to have a little check all the way down from my shoulder. My shoulder's completely relaxed. I'm not lifting anything. There is absolutely no activity, no tension in my elbow. I'm not raising the elbow in any way, shape or form. The arm should feel exactly the way you felt it when we practiced this exercise here, the flopping exercise, right? So here we are. Now, bow hold should be nice and relaxed. There should be no squeezing thumb, nothing of the sort. Check that your contact with the bow is really absolutely minimal. And if it makes you feel more comfortable, use the left hand here still to stabilize the bow, so you feel a little bit more comfortable with letting go. The right elbow is not down here, it's pointing outwards a little bit, so you can see I have a slight sort of inwards tilt in the arm. And now we're good to go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say hello to our upper arm up here, and we're only going to use initially the lower part of the bow up to the middle, and the only part we're actually moving is the upper arm hinging out of our shoulder joint. So let's go. My hand is only being pulled. My hand is not doing any pulling by itself. All I'm doing is moving this arm away from the body and back in. Away from the body, back in. Away, back in. And if it helps, look to your right side. we're going to do exactly the same, but using the other half of the bow. So we go one more time out and we stop here. So now we say hello to the upper part of the bow and the lower part of the arm. The upper part of the arm has now done its bit for the time being. So that has now got a break. It stays here. It's not going to move any further. Instead, we are going to hinge from our elbow as if that was a door that was opening and closing. So let's go. Let's look at our elbow. And what I'm looking out for is I want to see the angle between my lower and upper arm change really obviously. Just while you're doing that, always check that the bow hold is still nice and light. You see, that's how light my contact is here. No gripping of any kind. And the upper arm is relaxed and there is no tension around the elbow. So now that I've done each individual part, I'm now going to do really the 4-part exercise in chunks. So I'm starting at the heel and I'm telling my upper arm now to go and take the bow all the way to really just a little bit past the middle, about 60% of the bow. Stop, and now it's time to switch over. So we've done our lower arm bit. Now we bring the lower arm back to where we changed. And upper arm comes all the way back in. And now the upper arm is doing the pushing. So the one thing you don't want to be doing is that. Yeah, so the elbow has always got to stay on the outside of the hand here, because that's what's pushing the bow back in. So one more time. Out, lower arm, upper arm. There we go. So, and now once we've done that a few times, so I want you to repeat that a few times over and always talk yourself through the steps. That is the most important part, because that's how your brain is going to learn. Always give yourself the commands. So upper arm, lower arm, hinge from the elbow, close at the elbow, and now upper arm comes in. Make sure the elbow stays pointing outwards. There you go. And now we're going to do it a couple of times without the stops. So changing over and changing over to upper arm. And one more time. Upper arm as far as it will go. Lower arm, upper arm. And there you have it. So we have just spent 6 minutes on, and that is really not a lot of time, on the most important exercise that will give you a really beautiful cello sound in the long run. Let's turn our attention now to the left hand, and just as we did with the bow, we are also going to do a couple of preparatory exercises here as well. So the first thing we are going to do is put our left arm all the way out there, as if you were reaching out and waiting for someone to play something into your hand. There you go. Now the first thing we are going to do is simply learn to keep the arm out there and fold at the elbow like so. Arm all the way out and fold. All the way out and fold. So that's the first thing you want to practice over and over and over. Out there and fold. Why? Because we want to get into the habit of not doing anything like that. We want to create lots of space here, because the longer your arm is, the more strength you will have in the hand. Next, we want to create another thing I talk about a lot, and that is this beautiful C shape here. Yeah, you can see my little sort of I spy shape here. Yeah, so we've got that C shape, which will give us maximum power without any need for applying pressure. Yeah, so we're now going to do the same one more time, but we're going to land with this lovely C shape here like so. You see, as I'm folding over, my hand forms the C shape, and here I am. So, and land. One more time. And land. Out, C shape, land. Now we're going to essentially continue doing the same thing, but we're going to progress into what I call my target practice exercises. And of course, that is geared as much towards training our hand as it is towards training our ears. So I'm going to use my open strings as guides, like so. So I want you to play an open G. So that's your reference note, so you know what a G sounds like. And now we're going to land on our fourth finger in first position. So the whole hand goes down, all four fingers onto the string. And so here is our octave. Over and over and over. Of course, you will play some very nice and cleanly and you will miss some others. That is part of the course. What is very important is that when you do miss, listen out, immediately establish, did I go too high? Did I go too low? That's really, really, really important, yeah? So, one more time. Another thing you can do, if need be, is actually sing your note first, yeah? So you go. If your ear is still developing, that might be a really helpful thing to do. Because once you have the note in your ear already, then that means that your sense of pitch is activated. Yeah, once you sing it, that really means that your pitch is ready and just waiting for the left hand. And of course you can do that on all strings. And also you can do it with different fingers as well. For instance, going A to A. So that's a really, really important exercise to do absolutely religiously, because that will really give you not only a strong sense of pitch, but also eventually really the sense of reliability that you know exactly, that muscle memory kicks in, that you know exactly where the notes are. Now we're going to extend that exercise ever so slightly and progress to sort of little mini scales. So we're once again going to land on our fourth finger. So I've established my hand shape and now I'm going down. Two different finger patterns, 4-3-1 open string and then 4-2-1 open string as well, like so. Make sure here when you're doing that, your hand stays super relaxed. So you don't want to be seeing that and have a lot of sort of clenching and almost, you know, sort of treat the string like this rope you desperately hold on to. No, not at all. So you see my other fingers here completely soft. And part of the exercise is that we learn how much we need to open in between notes. So you see, I never hold the full sort of stretch between the notes. Which swiftly leads us on to doing actual scales. So the last part of this very, very basic practice session is all to do with playing one octave scales. And continuing from the target practice, I now want us to, I'm going to pick a D major scale, and we are going to do each note on its own. So hands down. Hands reach your next note. Do. Everything down, relax. Do. Open string. Do. And do. Shake everything out. Why do we do that exercise? Because right from the word go, I want us to conquer this sort of inbuilt fear that we have of missing the note. So I very purposefully shake out in between, completely relaxed hand, so that we really get used to just using our ear as a guide. Now, finally, we've done all that. Now let's go back and combine this lovely sustained bowing we practiced earlier, and let's finish off with a nice 1 octave scale up and down without any breaks this time, using the full bow in the way we practiced earlier. So lower arm, upper arm, upper arm, lower arm, nice relaxed left hand. Full bow. Relax your hand. So change over, upper arm comes all the way back in. Check that you've still got your C shape in your left hand. And check that your thumb is not squeezing. You should still have that shape. Fingers are soft in the left hand. Everything is relaxed. And there you have it. We have just done a really, really good practice session together. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's practice session. If you have any questions or comments, please pop them below. I always love to hear from you. And of course, I hope to see you for more practice sessions. If you found this helpful and if you're enjoying it, I would really love it if you could subscribe to my channel, smash that like button. And if you want to help me make lots more content in the future, you can now even leave me a little tip via the link below. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.